Hey everyone, SweetJohnnyCage here, back with another guide for Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII Reunion. This time I'm going to show you how to get the trophy Limit Break Collector. In order to get this trophy, you need to obtain all the DMW images available in the game. You can track which ones you have and which ones you're missing via the DMW submenu from the pause menu. The way this particular guide will work is that you can check the timestamps in the description for any summons or any DMW images that you might be missing. This way you don't have to watch the whole thing. The way I'm going to structure it is for each one, they're going to have their own individual timestamp with the exception of the first 7, Sephiroth through Genesis. Those NPC DMW images you obtain automatically just by playing through the game. The more traditional summons, Ifrit through Magic Pot, those are obtained through various methods, mainly through missions, but a couple can be found out in the world, or actually by fighting enemies in specific missions. So they're pretty interesting. All right, without further ado, let's get started. The first summon is Ifrit. In order to unlock him, you need to first clear Chapter 3, and then Mission 8-1-1 automatically becomes available, and it's just a rematch with Ifrit. There's a couple of these kinds of missions in the game for summons. This is the first one. It's the same exact fight, nothing different. He is weak to ice magic, just keep that in mind. And it can also interrupt Flame Shot if you time it correctly, so just keep using Blizzard, and he'll go down pretty easily, and then you will get Ifrit added to your DMW. For Bahamut, you will gain access to Mission 8-1-4 after completing Chapter 4 in the game, so this is another one that you could just kind of automatically can get. It is a rematch with him, nothing special, same exact fight. One thing that you should remember, though, is that you can actually block his dive bomb attack, and it reduces the damage considerably, so whenever you see him go up in the air, just start blocking. And then whenever he goes to the outer platforms, you can just cast magic and do your best to avoid his projectiles, and you should be fine. That's how you get Bahamut. Next up is Bahamut Fury. This technically becomes available during Chapter 3, but you are nowhere close to strong enough at that point of the game to really get started on getting it, so you're better off just leaving it so much later. The mission to get Bahamut Fury is actually a 7-star mission, so seriously, leave it till later. In any event, in Chapter 3, as you're adventuring through the Sector 5 Maka reactor, you'll automatically receive an email from someone named Treasure Princess, which also unlocks Mission 8-4-1. You then need to complete all of the missions in the 8-4 folder. At the end of that, you will unlock Mission 8-5-1. You need to complete all of those, and then at the end of 8-5-5, you will sort of get a weird treasure chest, and then you'll see Bahamut Fury. That unlocks 8-5-6. You need to complete that mission, and then at the end of that mission, you'll be able to fight Bahamut Fury. Seriously, leave this till later, but it technically unlocks in Chapter 3. Do all of 8-4, and then all of 8-5, and the final fight is Bahamut Fury. One thing that I do want to mention is in the 8-5 missions, you'll run into these enemies here called movers. The best strategy against these guys is to use gravity magic as well as casting barrier and M barrier on yourself. They are deceptively deadly and can kind of combo you in one cycle to death. So cast barrier and M barrier and use heavy gravity magic. Graviga is the best because gravity magic, or Graviga specifically, cuts their health in half every single time you cast it. So cast it 2, maybe 3 times, and then just use Twisted Fury, and you'll take them out pretty quick. But be careful, because if they hit you, you're stunned. So be very careful around these guys. Gravity Magic, Twisted Fury is the key. They are easily the hardest enemies in the 8-5 category. Probably even more frustrating than Bahamut Fury. Next up is Odin, who you don't actually have to fight, which is nice. Odin can be found in Mission 8-1-6, which can be done anytime after completing Chapter 4, as long as you've done the other missions in the 8-1 category. So after you finish Chapter 4, just go back to the 8-1s, complete them, and the final fight in 8-1-6 is against an enemy called Hungry, which I think is just so cute, and he's actually kind of funny looking. Pretty easy fight, just use magic, sword slashes, you can stagger him. He doesn't really put up too much of a fight, but his attacks can interrupt you, just be careful with that. But after he goes down, you just get Odin automatically, and then you're done. So that's it. Next up is Phoenix. This one can only be obtained during Chapter 8, not before, not after. That's because it is found in a very specific location in Nibelheim. So once you arrive in the town, you want to speak to this boy to begin the quest for the 7 wonders, the first of which is Phoenix. So once you accept his quest, you want to walk up to the well. I had to go to the side for some weird reason. The prompt wasn't in front of the ladder. But press X, you'll go up the ladder and investigate the water supply. And it seems like the color has maybe seeped out of the materia orb that's floating in the water. This materia orb is none other than Phoenix. It's a very easy one to get. And if you're like me, maybe this was your last one. Next up is Chocobo. This one can be obtained pretty easily. All you got to do is finish mission 8-4-1, which unlocks automatically as you're adventuring through the Sector 5 Maka reactor alongside Sephiroth during Chapter 3. Once you get mission 8-4-1, you just want to start it, and then after defeating the final group of enemies there, you will get a Chocobo feather, which unlocks the Chocobo summit. Pretty easy. Next up is Cactuar. This one is really interesting. You want to clear Chapter 5, and then you'll get access to Mission 313, Eliminate the Copies. Within this mission is a secret encounter with a Cactuar. You want to go to this location on the map, and you'll see it just bouncing around. Once you fight it and kill it, you then want to complete the mission like normal, and after doing that, you'll get the sort of bonus prize of unlocking Mission M10-11. You want to complete M10-11 and 1-2 to unlock 1-3, and then the final Cactuar that you fight in M10-13 will be the one that drops the Cactus Thorn. Just be careful of this enemy's 1,000 Needles attack. It does 1,000 damage and seems like it does it before death, so make sure you finish this fight healthy. But you'll get the Cactus Thorn, which automatically adds Cactuar to your DMW. Unlocking Tonberry takes a little bit of work. After completing Chapter 3 in the game, you will then gain access to Mission M6-1-1. You want to complete that through M615. Within M615, you will find a Tonberry chilling on a platform near the entrance. It's not too far away. You want to engage this Tonberry, defeat it, and then finish the rest of the mission. Tonberries are sometimes very difficult, not always, but they can mete out a lot of damage very quickly with their kitchen knife ability. After defeating that Tonberry and clearing the rest of the mission, you will then gain access to M10-2-1. Complete that until you unlock M10-2-3 for Master Tonberry, who is the final enemy of this area. Master Tonberry is the exact same as the other Tonberries, with two exceptions. One, he's got a ton of health. Two, he can teleport when he uses kitchen knife at random. He doesn't always teleport with kitchen knife, but he does a lot of the time. If you manage to get a no MP cost bonus during this fight, abuse it. You don't want to deal with this guy up close because one of those kitchen knives can more or less one-shot you. If you have access to Protect Materia to cast Barrier, go for it. Put it on yourself, this way you don't get one shot. It helps a lot. The strategy for kitchen knife is pretty simple. What I try to do is I go in for one combo, sometimes only 1 or 2 hits, and then as soon as it says kitchen knife, I will back up, and then you want to press square to go in, and then immediately roll back out. He will whiff kitchen knife, he'll just hit air, and then you're good to go. For the teleport ones, just run around the arena until he appears, and you see him lunge forward using kitchen knife. Karma is mostly unavoidable. You can time a roll through it, but it's very difficult. It doesn't do a lot of damage, so it's really nothing to worry about. But after defeating Master Tonberry, you will get Tonberry's knife, and Tonberry will automatically be added to your DMW. Obtaining Cait Sith is relatively painless. All you got to do is get to Chapter 3, begin exploring the Sector 5 Maka reactor, and then as you're going to power up the door to get it open, you will receive an email from the Treasure Princess, as well as automatic access to Mission 8-4-1. You want to complete that mission, then 8-4-2, and then within 8-4-3, the final prize is Cait Sith's Megaphone. Once you obtain that, he will automatically be added to your DMW. Obtaining Moogle is basically the exact same as Cait Sith. In Chapter 3, as you're going through Maka Reactor number 5, you get an email from Treasure Princess, as well as access to Mission M8-4-1. You want to complete that mission, M8-4-2, M8-4-3, and then you will unlock M8-4-4. Complete that, defeat the final enemies, and you will obtain the Moogle's Amulet, which automatically adds Moogle to your DMW. Very easy. The final DMW summon is Magic Pot. This one takes a while to unlock. After completing Chapter 3, you'll gain access to Mission M6-1-1. You want to complete that until you have access to 615. Within 615, you'll find a lone Tonberry on a platform, sort of above the entrance. You want to face and then kill this Tonberry. After doing so, you want to complete the mission like normal by defeating the final enemy. After doing that, you will then gain access to mission M10-2-1. You want to then complete that all the way through M10-2-3, and here's where it gets tricky. Within this mission, you want to get into random battles over and over until you find a magic pot. Be extremely careful when getting into battles in this mission, because if you're like me, you just press square as soon as a battle starts, and you do not want to touch the magic pot when you see it. Instead, you need to fulfill the requirements that it's telling you to do. However, you may not have the proper materia equipped. That's okay. You want to go to the pause menu, forfeit the battle, and then you want to check your equipment and try again. You then want to equip whatever materia it's telling you to use. It's going to tell you to use a total of 4 different things. So this is going to require a little bit of trial and error. I had to reset this 4 times to equip everything correctly. I used Jump, then Fira, then Gravity, and then finally Assault Twister. Ignore your limit breaks, ignore the summons, but as soon as you fulfill the 4th request, the battle will end and you will get the Magic Pot Tricks key item. You then want to finish this mission, which requires you to kill a Master Tonberry. If you have not yet killed this Tonberry, this is how you get the Tonberry summon as well, so sort of a 2-for-1 deal. This Tonberry in particular, when it uses Kitchen Knife, it has a tendency to teleport. If it does disappear, just run around the arena, try to stay away from corners, and then just wait for it to lunge, and then just go back in. What I also recommend for these fights is to only go in for 1 or 2 attacks, and then immediately roll away, because it may start using Kitchen Knife. As soon as you see the Kitchen Knife text, back away, then press square once and immediately roll away. This way you hit it once and then it lunges toward you with Kitchen Knife, but it whiffs because you dodged. Then you can go in for a full combo. Karma is somewhat avoidable. You can time a roll. It is difficult, but it doesn't do a lot of damage. Just make sure you have Barrier up as well as M Barrier, which reduces the damage of Karma. And that's it. Those are all of the summons on the DMW. It takes basically the entire game to do. I would say the most difficult one is Bahamut Fury, but the most annoying one, or one that just kind of takes the longest, is Magic Pot. That's it. All right, if you have any questions, please feel free to leave a comment. I'll do my best to help you out. If you're looking for more guides for Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII Reunion, please subscribe to the channel so you get alerted when new guides go live. If you're interested in supporting the channel monetarily, please consider becoming a channel member by clicking the blue join button below this video. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter and join my Discord. The links for those are in the description below. As always, I'm SweetJohnnyCage. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.